Have you ever heard the phrase, less is more, and thought, well, that's confusing. How can having less of something actually mean having more? It's like saying, the less chocolate cake I eat, the more satisfied I feel, which sounds like a downright lie. But stick with me. There's a lot more to this simple idea than meets the eye, or, in our case, the stomach. The magic of less. Thinkers throughout history, from the ancient Greeks to modern minimalists, have sung the praises of simplicity. They argue that by cutting out the clutter, not just in our closets but in our minds and lives, we can actually find more happiness, freedom, and meaning. Epicurus was an ancient philosopher who loved simplicity. He believed that the key to happiness was enjoying simple pleasures. For him, a good day involved a loaf of bread, some water, and a nice chat with friends. No need for expensive wines or fancy dinners. He found joy in the simple things, like the taste of plain bread and the sound of laughter. In a way, Epicurus was the original less is more advocate. He thought that by limiting our desires and not craving luxurious things, we could find true happiness. You wouldn't find him scrolling through an ancient equivalent of Instagram, envying the rich and famous. He was too busy enjoying his simple meals and deep thoughts. The Stoics believed that true happiness comes from within, not from material possessions. They preached that by limiting our desires, we can avoid the pain of unfulfilled wants. After all, if you don't want much, you're never disappointed. They were like the ancient equivalent of those people who have their entire lives in one backpack and go on about how freeing it is. The Buddha also had a thing for simplicity. He taught about the middle path, which is all about finding balance, not going overboard with luxury, but also not living like a hermit. He left his royal life behind to discover that neither extreme luxury nor extreme austerity leads to happiness. Instead, he advocated for a life of moderation. Imagine Buddha at a buffet with endless options. He'd probably take a bit of salad, a scoop of rice, and a piece of fruit, just enough to enjoy, but not so much that he'd need a nap afterwards. The middle path is like choosing a practical, fuel-efficient car over a flashy sports car. You get where you need to go without the extra cost and stress. Many spiritual traditions advocate for a simple life as a path to inner peace and fulfillment. Whether it's the Buddhist practice of mindfulness, the Christian call to humility, or the Zen Buddhist concept of wabi-sabi, finding beauty in imperfection, simplicity is a common thread. It's about stripping away the unnecessary to focus on the essential. These teachings remind us that simplicity isn't just about decluttering our homes or schedules. It's also about decluttering our minds and hearts. It's about finding clarity and purpose and living in harmony with ourselves and the world around us. The philosophy of less is more teaches us that a simpler life is often a happier one. Modern minimalism. Minimalism isn't just about cleaning up, it's a way of life. It's about making space for what truly matters. Joshua Becker, a modern minimalist guru, says, "The first step in crafting the life you want is to get rid of everything you don't." It's like that moment when you finally delete all the old emails and feel a wave of calm. That's the minimalist dream, a calm, focused life with room to breathe and think. The truth is, our stuff often becomes a source of stress rather than joy. We worry about maintaining it, losing it, or whether we should have gotten a better model. It's like a bad relationship we can't break up with. Philosophers and psychologists alike argue that clutter doesn't just occupy physical space, it clogs up mental space too. It's hard to feel zen when you're tripping over random stuff and can't find your keys under a pile of who knows what. The simple life, in contrast, is like having a clean, open field to play in. There's room to breathe, think, and most importantly, to relax. The joy of Jomo. In our hyper-connected world, we often hear about FOMO, or the fear of missing out. But have you heard of Jomo? It's the joy of missing out. Yes, you read that right. The joy of not cramming your schedule with endless events, the relief of not keeping up with every new gadget, and the happiness of just being. So, let's take a cue from the great philosophers, both ancient and modern, and try to live a little lighter. After all, life's too short to be buried under stuff, obligations, and unnecessary stress. Let's laugh more, love more, and, why not, own less. And don't forget to sometimes use the phrase, "No thank you. I'm enjoying the sunshine." That's it for now. Thanks to everyone who watched. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more new content. See you next time.